Good Lord,
Wow.
how long have you been the problem? 12
Right.
years. 12 years.
Welcome to the Fear Forward CEO, the podcast for business owners who are ready to build trust, generate referrals, and scale with smart systems and AI. I'm Tonya Gossage, and each week we talk leadership, growth, relationships, visibility, and practical strategies that move forward with confidence. Let's go ahead and get started. Welcome back to the Fear Forward CEO podcast. I'm Tonya Gossage, and this is episode 5. Here is something that I've learned the hard way. Most of the growth that I have seen did not start with a plan. It started with a decision someone was afraid to make, that it was really what the show was about, the moment before the leap, the fear that shows up right before it matters most. And when it happens, or it always happens, when you move anyway. So I don't want to bring guests on to impress you. I bring them on so that you can hear the real version, the doubt, the risk, the choice to keep you going, because somewhere in their story, I think you're going to hear your own story. And my guest today is someone that I respect very deeply. My guest today is Sheila Page. Sheila is a woman of faith, family, a mama to her precious Yorkie Coco, and she helps others improve their health, their finances. She's a wife of Dr. Derek Page. They own and operate a chiropractic clinic there in Fort Worth, Texas, as well as a couple of other businesses, I believe.
That's
Sheila?
correct. We're
All
busy.
right. Sheila, welcome to the Fear Forward CEO. I'm so glad to have you here today.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here. I'm really excited. And you're right. It is not planned moments that when you just get pushed forward.
For sure. I've been through many of those through my career in
Exactly.
banking and then definitely in entrepreneurship, which
Yep.
is what we're
The
going to talk about.
scariest things can be your biggest blessings.
Oh my goodness, for sure, for sure. Okay, so what I want to do today is let's talk about some of those fear forward moments throughout your life, your career, but take me back to a moment when you decided to build something for yourself and what was happening in your life and what made you say, I'm going to do this.
It's been a pivotal, very specific time in my life. So our kids are older. I'm in a blended family. This is my second marriage, and money is very complicated in a blended family. And my situation with my father and my mom changed financially very dramatically, and it scared me. And what it made me do was decide I can either ask my husband for more money or I can do something for myself. And I thought, what do I want to teach my kids? Do I want to teach them to rely on someone else? Or what would I tell them? And I would say, you've got this, you can do this. And at 56, why would you be afraid? It's not too late. And when an opportunity came my way, I just decided it just felt right. It felt like a God thing. And I knew that I was just going to have to make a decision to do it and push my way through. And I knew it was going to be scary. And I knew I might fail along the way, but I was mentally ready. I wanted it. And it hadn't been easy, but it's so satisfying. So,
That gave me chills as you were saying that.
yeah. And it feels so good because you put yourself out there in this business that I've been doing lately. It's in direct sales. And so there's a lot of social media marketing where you're posting a lot and it's uncomfortable at times and you're just failing forward. And people say, "Oh my gosh, you're doing such a good job. I can never do what you're doing." I'm like, "I'm scared to death. I don't know what I'm doing." But you just figure it out, and it's not always pretty, but as long as you keep pushing forward and keep moving, then it starts to build traction.
I love what you said too about you could either ask for more or ask for something, or you
Mhm,
can figure it out on your own.
mhm.
And as a woman myself, I don't want to be dependent on
No,
other people.
no. That was something that I thought it would be easy to ask. I think he would be fine giving it to me, but I thought, is that the woman that I want to be? Because that's not who I am. And I want my children to always be proud of me. And I want them to see me continue to work and figure it out. I don't want them to be dependent on me. And so basically, I did it to prove to myself, but to show them that because the truth is, it was a scary time. I really realized that, gosh, my money situation has drastically changed. What am I going to do? And it was like, I'm going to dig deep. And it feels so good to provide for myself and show my kids. They're so proud of me.
So what are some of the things what are some of the things as you were like, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna push forward?
Mhm.
What are some of the things you had to tell yourself going
Mm.
through that? I know I can do this. What are some of the mindsets?
It brought up so much anxiety. Because when I started making a decision, one day would feel so good, I'd be so confident, and the next day I would just be not wanting to get out of bed, just scared to death, almost paralyzed. And I knew that I had to go back to what I was telling my kids, just put one foot in front of the other, just do a little bit if you can't do a lot. And I just had to really breathe through and just taking small actions that made me know I'm moving forward instead of regressing or stopping. Because I know in this business that you have to just continually in a lot of businesses. My son's in real estate. It's very highs and lows, but in most every business, if you're not doing the daily activity, it's gonna you have no traction and it's gonna die out. You have to continue to put one foot in front of the other, scared or not scared, and just continue to go. And when you start getting into action, the fear goes away and you feel it. I've always struggled with anxiety, and it got worse after my mother passed away. And so that's when I started yoga. And it was all about my mental health, truly. And every Monday morning, because I don't a lot of people, I really used to struggle that Sunday night anxiety, angst of all the pressure for the next week. And every Monday morning, my husband would help pull me out of bed. It's time to go to yoga because it was my mental health. If I could get out the door and go to yoga, the whole week was different. If I couldn't, I felt so paralyzed, and my whole week, the whole day, I felt like I couldn't. And I realized the power that I had over myself of putting one foot in front of the other was truly getting me out of the fear. And it was a choice that I had to make, and that I had more power over it than I realized.
Did you find, Sheila, that every time you took that step to go
Mhm,
to yoga or to
mhm.
get out of bed and do what you feared, that it got easier as time went on?
I would say it's still a struggle. I truly struggle with anxiety, and there's so much pressure. It's so hard. And so I feel like I have to make a choice every Monday. I make a choice every morning, but I feel it as I'm driving. Literally give myself, I'm like, yay, you're doing it. You got this. I'm encouraging myself along the way. And I'm constantly saying, what would you tell your kids?
Yeah,
They struggle with anxiety. I think a lot of people do. Life is so hard. And so I'm constantly giving myself praise for the little baby
yeah.
steps that I take along the way. And it does, you feel better. And exercise in general is so good for your mental health. And so, but it gets better because I know it works. So I know that if I can just keep going, it will get better. But it's a choice every day.
Yeah. So what would you tell somebody that's starting a brand new business that's going through the same
Mhm.
thing? They struggle to get up every morning,
Yeah.
they have the anxiety, they have
Mhm.
the fear.
Mhm.
What would you tell them? What would be the message that you would say
The
to them?
first thing I would do is if you're prayerful, find something that's going to keep you grounded. Find a mentor that's going to keep you accountable and that works with you at your level, that understands where your doubts are, that can help baby step you where you need to be babied and help push you when you need to be pushed.
That's
Having
good.
guidance is truly key. Otherwise, you're just Willy Wonka all over the place. And if it's new, you need some structure. And there's such highs and lows in a new business. You need someone to help you to guide you through. I really think that's key. And in our business, we have a lot of leaders and we all lean on each other, and everybody has different strengths and weaknesses. And the community of working together with other people is so important, very powerful.
Yeah, and I want you to share in just a minute what it is
Mhm.
that you do. But before I do, I want to ask you this question because I think it's
Mhm.
important as well. And that is, was there someone as you were going through these steps that believed in you before you really believed in yourself?
I don't know. I think it goes back to me knowing that I could, hearing that voice in the back of my head saying, "Don't be fearful, you got this." Like I said, my mom's passed away. I can hear her whispering in my ear, "You've got this, you've got this." But it was always my reason was to prove to my kids, to show them because I want to be an example.
Yeah.
And so there's not necessarily someone that my husband definitely always supportive, but I think that it has to come from deep within that you feel like you can, and then you
Mm,
lean on others to encourage you.
yeah. Like you said, it's the mentor, it's the accountability
Mhm.
partner that's always pushing you forward, letting you know that you can do it.
I agree. Really find that's powerful. We've connected on a weekly basis, and it's really helped me grow in areas that I've struggled and helped me realize some key areas that I can offer to other people. It's very powerful to share and connect with other people that are also trying to grow their business.
And seeing having those conversations every week, you and I
Mm.
see what's working. Hey, Sheila, this is working for
Yes,
me. What's working for you? And then we
right,
share and then
right.
be able to implement those things do help us to move forward, get past certain things that we wonder, hey, I wonder if this works, or I've never even heard of that. Tested
Mhm.
something, and then gives us the opportunity to go and test it, which then builds our confidence to know somebody else has tested something.
Because you have these ideas in your head, but when you talk it through with someone, it gives you so much more confidence in how to say something, how to approach something. And yeah, I can see how that might work. And to get someone else's perspective is so key because we get locked up in our own perspective. Sometimes the obvious is what someone says, "What about this? You're so good at that." I never thought of that. I'm
Right?
glad you brought that up. And so I think it's very key to not try and do it by yourself. I think it's very important to put yourself out there and have conversations with leaders, mentors, and people that are in the same boat as you are.
Yeah. And so I want to go back because we've
Mhm,
talked about the fear, we've talked about the anxiety, talked
mhm,
about those things. And so I want to bring in what it is you do
mhm,
because there's the product that,
mhm,
in my opinion, massively
mhm.
helps with, and I just thrown it in the trash now, but like before we got on this episode, I
Yeah.
was like, okay, before I meet with a client, before I do
Mhm,
my podcast, I bring out that calm, that to me, whether it's stress, whether it's
mhm,
anxiety, no matter whether I'm getting a headache, I bring that out
mhm.
because that in itself has drastically changed my life. And I'm going to ask you in a minute
Absolutely.
how,
Mhm,
whether it's a supplement, it's a product, it's
mhm,
whatever
mhm,
that has changed your life in
mhm,
dealing with fear and or anxiety. But I
mhm,
want you to share a little bit
mhm,
about what you do because it's important that goes into this
mhm,
podcast because we're talking about not only what we do and how fear plays a part throughout our entire career, but I want
mhm,
you to share just a little bit about what you do
mhm,
and how moving through your business, how
mhm.
fear has played a part and how that product has helped you in the business itself.
Okay. So my main business that I do, that I've done for almost 20 years, I'm in concrete construction. And that business is extremely stressful. It's extremely expensive, the highs and lows. I'm constantly at the expense of someone else, whether it's rather related or dependent upon workers or machinery or contracts. There's so many things that were out of my control. And so when looking for another opportunity, I knew that it needed to not take up all of my time. It could not add more to my plate. And I could not put more money out there to invest in. And it was a God thing that these were all natural products that help with all things from having more energy, from having less stress, all kinds of things that I was struggling with going through menopause. I truly had no energy. More importantly than anything, my brain felt like it wasn't working anymore. I had no word recall. It scared me. I went to the doctor. I thought I had early onset dementia. And my brain is one of my most valuable assets, and I felt like I was losing it. And so I was really insecure, and that made my anxiety so much worse. So when I was introduced to these products of helping my health, I thought, and the more I dug into how incredible, what if these work? More importantly, I'm a numbers girl. I could see that the opportunity was off the charts. It was unbelievable. It's the only company in the world that sells all natural bioactive precision peptides, unlike, and it's not, it's the only one. And the opportunity is simply amazing. And of course, my brain doesn't always work. I can't remember the question now, but basically, with using these products, my brain came back, my anxiety decreased, I have more energy. And everyone I know from, I'm 56, from 40 up, they're struggling with something similar as I am with their health in this way because our bodies are changing. And to share and to help other people has become very natural, and the business has followed and grown. And but it's truly helped all my anxiety, my stress. I'm now able to, the opportunity is so good. I'm now able to start decreasing my construction business and lean on it less and build this more because the opportunity is greater and it's less risk. So it's been life changing.
And then, and to tie that
Mhm.
in, because of the way that it's giving you more energy, and the products have definitely helped you with that stress and
Mhm.
anxiety, has definitely decreased all of that for you, and then has helped you in the mornings
Yeah,
going through
on
fear.
a daily
Has,
basis.
yeah,
And it's up because I really was depressed because my brain was just not working good and I had no energy. And now I've never felt more alive. And it's such a blessing to share these all natural products that truly do help you feel better and look better too. They work with your weight and your muscle tone. And anyway, it's become, I'm very passionate. And with my husband being a chiropractor, it really has been such a good fit for our family. And he had double knee replacement surgery. He had an unbelievable recovery from these products. His surgeon said he would be off work about 4 to 6 weeks. He'd be on a walker. We were really worried about losing his practice, and he was able to go back to work after 9 days, not never on a walker, and no inflammation, doing great. He exceeded, at 68 years old, exceeded every doctor's thought of recovery. In fact, now both of those physicians implement the products in their office, and now he recommends them to his patients. So it's really come full circle on how much this opportunity and these products have changed and are still changing our lives and others.
yeah. I love that. So let's take that, because the chiropractic clinic is
Mm,
definitely a segue into that, because you guys have been able to, from the chiropractic clinic, and how he has been able to recommend it to patients, and then patients being able to get the results that they've gotten
mhm,
and been able to share that on with other
mhm,
people, because I know
right.
it's been able to bring growth
Mhm,
into the business and for the chiropractic clinic as well. So I want to talk about relationships,
mm,
because relationships and referrals,
mhm,
because that's a huge part of my business, is helping
absolutely.
people get referrals. Not
Mhm,
only do we talk about building a business through fear, it's also helping people get referrals. And so we
mhm,
are in the referral business.
absolutely.
And
Mhm,
so give me an example of when relationships have opened the door
mhm,
for you or Dr. Derek that maybe you could not have opened alone
mhm,
without having someone in your ecosystem, if you
right.
will, that you could not have done without somebody else being involved.
Yeah. It's so true. Referrals, relationships, that really is so important. That's your integrity and is that it's built on. And so I think that I'm involved, I'm on a few boards, one for the Parker County Health Foundation, one here in Fort Worth, some large boards, and they're health related. And that's because it's important to me
Yeah.
before I found the peptides. And that has become a huge opening avenue of being able to get in front of more people that I would have never had the opportunity before. And they asked me, would you like to come speak in front of everyone? Okay, yes, because people are curious. What are peptides? What are the different kinds? It's a buzzword. And so the people are curious to learn more. And then that has led to, oh, would you come talk to this group? And it's just all referrals. And the more you give to a group or to people, the more you get back. That's for sure. And I think what I always do when I'm meeting new people is I'm always trying to find out, and it's not calculated, it's truly just how my brain works. What can I do for you? How
Mhm.
can I help you? What is your business? And so I'm truly interested because my mind's always thinking, who can I introduce you to? And if you think like that, it comes back full circle. It really does. Because then people go, that's wonderful. Let me think of how I could help you. And it becomes contagious. And so it's very beneficial. I think that the best relationship or the best customers, the best people, they're all referral based because there's a story behind it. There's
Yeah.
some trust.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to ask you if there
Mhm.
was an approach that you had to networking differently than
Yeah.
most people. And I think that you said, I'm always looking for how can I help you
Yeah,
before.
if I hear someone in a group and I think, "Ooh, I like what she said. That's interesting." And I'm thinking, I think I'd like to I think we maybe could collaborate well. I will go over and approach her and because I don't know if she heard me and thought the same thing or not, but so, and I'll ask her to tell me more about what she does. And not only am I interested because there's something she said that intrigued me, it makes me think of collaborating. And I always try and say the word, let's collaborate. In other words,
Yes,
let's help each other. Let's find a way we can both benefit versus can you introduce me or can you help me? That's so one-sided. It doesn't feel very reciprocal. And you want to, if you're asking for help, you should at least offer some help first. And people really do want to respond in turn with help when you're offering to help them.
great.
Yeah.
So, for new business owners, or maybe even business owners that are listening to the podcast, what
Mhm.
is something that you got wrong as you
Oh,
were building your business about growing a business early on that you now know better? That if
well,
you could
that,
offer them
oh my
suggestions,
gosh. Yes, I
you would
had
be like,
such,
don't do what I did because
don't
I
do
now know
this.
better.
I've got a long list, but the one that stands out the most, and I could not figure it out on my own. Again, someone pointed it out to me because what happened was when we started this new venture, it's free to become, there's no fees involved to either become an affiliate where you could sell the products as a business or to become a customer. And so from the way I look at things, as most entrepreneurs probably that are listening in, I'm thinking, who in the heck would just want to be a customer? Of course, you want to do the business. I couldn't imagine anyone else seeing it differently. And so I was signing everyone up and begging them, basically convincing them, because it was it was basically what I thought they should do. It was all about my needs. And turned out three-quarters of them were not entrepreneurs. They just wanted the products. They really wanted to be a customer. But I had scared them so far away from even trying the products because I was forcing them to be in this other category of selling the products that the whole communication just fell completely apart. And so it was explained to me when I thought this was very clever. They said, some people want to be an Uber driver. They see the opportunity. Some people want to be a passenger. And you can't so if you're being driven by an Uber driver and they're telling you, you should do this, you should do this, some people will say, yeah, that's interesting, I might. Or some people say, just please stop talking. I just want the ride. And
Mhm.
I wasn't listening or asking what people wanted. I was trying to convince them. And so it shut down communication whatsoever from anyone to even want to try the products. So I went when it was pointed out to me and the light bulb went off. I went back to all those people and said, I am so sorry. I figured out that I have drug you down the wrong path and you were just curious about the products. And they're like, yes, but you were telling me all these things I needed to do and grow a business, and it scared me. And I was like, could we start over? And I just admitted where I'd screwed up. We all got a good giggle. And now they stopped avoiding my phone calls. They actually tried the products. They became a customer. A few of them became an affiliate, but because they wanted to, not because I was convincing or dragging them to be. And so what I learned was it wasn't about me, it was about what they needed. I didn't know more. I just had a different perspective on when I saw this business and the opportunity in the products. So I learned to listen, ask more questions, and follow their lead. And that's been a lot more successful.
We oftentimes think we know what the customer
Oh,
needs.
let me tell you and do it for you.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think I know more. And not allowing them to be part of the conversation was very dismissing. And I have
Mhm,
to say, if I turn that whole thing around, if someone had treated me that way, and I do have a CEO brain, I would have been a little put off. So
mhm.
it's just all about seeing things from a different perspective. But the obvious of me dragging these people to sign up, and I couldn't figure out the problem. I had someone else had to point it out to me. And I'm grateful.
Yes. And oftentimes that can be embarrassing to us, but it's for
Yes,
our
but it
own
was such a,
good.
oh my God, and I remember saying, in fact, it was Jen to Tracy. She said, Sheila, imagine if you're doing this well, doing it all wrong. Imagine how you're going to do when you start doing something right.
Yes.
And I was like, that is encouraging.
Light bulb moments are good.
It was
And
so
the
good.
good thing is that you were receptive to
Constructive criticism,
learn.
for sure.
You were receptive.
I could tell that what I was doing wasn't working. It was not duplicating. It was not getting the results I wanted. And I was so stuck in the obvious I couldn't figure out myself. So I was so grateful that I went to a community of leaders and said, what am I missing here? Because I'm doing this so well, but then it's not getting any traction. And immediately, three of them were like, oh my God, it was obvious to other people. But when it was explained to me with the Uber driver, I got it.
You got it.
And that stuck with me that I need to not be telling people what they need or what they want, but asking. And it's really out of respect to ask and listen instead of
Mhm,
just telling someone
mm.
what they need and what they want. Nobody wants to be told.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they wanna be heard. They wanna
They
be
want to
listened
be
to.
heard. Yeah, they want a conversation out of it. They want to be a part of it, but they don't want to be told.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
so that was my eye opener, and I'm still having to break bad habits because when I see someone, I'm like, oh my gosh, they could be amazing at this business. And I have to stop, think, what do they want? Do they even like these
Yeah.
peptides?
Yeah.
And so I have to back it up and get out of the way.
Yeah. We love to buy, but we don't
Uh,
like to be sold.
that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. And
Yeah.
it's the approach definitely matters. And changing my approach has changed my business for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I love that. So many CEOs, business owners that I work with feel like they're the bottleneck in their own
Ah,
business,
yeah.
but they don't know how to get out. Have you ever been there? And if so, how did you work through it?
And when you say the bottleneck, explain exactly what do you mean by that?
So they're really stuck
Mm-hmm.
working in their business, really
Mm-hmm.
stuck working in it. And so I don't know that this would really apply to the
Mm-hmm.
direct sales, but maybe
Mm-hmm.
more in the concrete, maybe even more in the chiropractic, but probably more so in the concrete.
Mm-hmm.
But you've got to have employees, though, pretty much to be the bottleneck, or need to hire employees
It's
because they're doing everything. They're not working on their business,
right.
they're working so deep in their business that they can't really grow and scale their
Oh
business
my
because they're
gosh.
so in the weeds.
I'm sure I cannot be the only control freak CEO. The problem is we want to do everything ourselves because we don't think anybody can do it as well.
Exactly.
And then we get so bogged down with the daily task that our income producing activity is being missed.
Absolutely.
And
That's
so
what I'm
you're
talking
working
about right
so
there.
hard and the daily stuff that you're not able to grow. You can't see the forest through the trees. And if you don't learn to delegate, and yes, you do have to find someone and take the time to train them. You cannot say, I'm just not going to invest in the training because it's easier for me to do it. You'll never grow. So you
Yeah.
do have to invest in other people. And it's challenging as a CEO or but once you figure it out, then you can spend time doing better income producing activity, like bringing in new business instead of doing the paperwork to take care of the old. And
Yeah.
yeah, but it takes.
I had someone reach out yesterday, and
Mhm,
honestly, this was the first.
mhm.
And I was so proud of this individual, but he's growing and scaling actually, but he realized he's got to get control or it's going to be chaos. And
Gotta have systems.
but he was like you. He says, I'm a control freak and I'm not a good delegator. I've never owned a business, but it's growing and it's growing fast. And he said, I'm throwing money at every problem and I
Mhm.
need help.
Yep.
And so he was like, I need HR, I need operations, I
Mm.
need a team, I need procedures. And he just
Yeah.
kept going on and on.
Yeah, it's
And
good, scary problems, but if you
yes,
don't address them, you'll go under.
yes, that's
So,
what I told him. And I think he realized that,
mhm,
but you could hear, just gives me chills. You could hear the stress, you could hear
mhm.
the overwhelm. And
Yep.
I said to him, are you sleeping at night? And he said, only when I'm so tired that I'm just crashing.
Exhaustion. Yeah.
And
I can tell you that there was in the concrete business, I was doing all of the estimating, all of the doing everything. And I was doing so many jobs at one time and late at night. And of course, you're tired and you're human. And this was a $2 million job. And I missed a huge little area to estimate on concrete. No wonder I got the bid. I was $200,000 less than everyone.
oh,
And so I lost a huge amount of money. And that's when I said, I need an estimator. And it's not very expensive, but
no.
I didn't realize that hanging on and trying to do everything, it had been working, so I thought, until it didn't. And it cost me so much money to figure that out. And I had been warned and told by people that I trusted, you can't do all of this, it's going to
Mm-mm.
fail. And I didn't listen. And it did cost me. And I learned from that. And investing in that allowed me to grow more business. It was the best decision I ever made. It really wasn't that much more money, but I had been too stubborn to make that decision. I had to
Mhm,
fall flat on my face and learn it the hard way. So don't
mhm.
recommend that.
Yeah, so these are the bottlenecks that when we
Yeah.
talk about needing a mentor, needing an accountability partner,
Mhm.
and needing to hire early.
Mhm.
But yeah, yeah, we talked about even the small things,
Mhm.
contracts. We're hiring people without contracts,
Yep.
all the small
I've
things. And
done
so,
that too.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I've done, and I know better. But yeah, definitely a mentor, especially someone who's been in the business a little longer than you have. The different perspective. I took him out on a job and said, I'm not sure what's going on, but we're not making any money on these type of jobs. And he goes, take me to the job site. And the truth is, I'm a numbers girl. I don't know much about concrete. So when we get there, I don't know what we're looking at, but he did because
Hmm.
he started on that side. And
Hmm.
yes, he knew the numbers, but he was watching and we were out there 20 minutes and he goes, that guy right there. And he, of course, he was my lead foreman. And he goes, he's your problem. And I'm like, oh, what? I depend on him. He's the best. He goes, no, he's costing you money. He goes,
Yep.
he's the one. Scared the hell out of me. I've invested so much in him. I thought I couldn't do the jobs without him. And yet he was my problem.
Yeah.
And I had to, and the fact that he had called me out on it, I knew I had to do something about it. It
Mhm.
was the scariest thing I've ever done. And he'd worked for me for 12 years. So I'm thinking, good Lord,
Wow.
how long have you been the problem? 12
Right?
years, 12 years,
How much money has he cost you?
a lot. And
Yes.
someone else, because, and that's the thing is that, yes, I can be great at numbers, but if I don't know what I'm looking at with concrete, how good am I going to be? No, not so good. You need to have someone, if you don't understand that part, bring someone in that can see it and point
Hmm.
out what you can't see, or
Hmm.
have them double check. Do you see something or am I missing something? And it changed everything.
Absolutely, it will. That's what I told this person. Do not
Mhm.
hire. He's just throwing money. I said, do not hire another person. do not. I'm going to interview every single person that you have just recently hired. We're going to have a
Yep,
contract. They're going to sign a contract. Everybody's going to be on a 30
yep,
day or 60
exactly.
day
Right.
probation period starting immediately. We're going to pull back and we're going to start from the beginning.
Yes, because you'll get taken advantage of quickly.
Yes, we're going to have errors and omissions insurance. We're going to
That's
have,
right.
I
That's
mean,
right.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Back to the
It
base.
was even scary for me for him.
Yeah.
So, but
Well,
yes,
you
we're
could
gonna,
see all the things that could go wrong because he needed
yeah,
to rein it in.
yeah, we're gonna rein this back,
Mhm.
and yeah, we're gonna start from the beginning, and we're gonna build a business.
It'll build a community of people knowing that they're being watched, and that's not a bad thing. My gosh,
Yeah,
there
we're gonna
has to
look at
be
every
accountability has to matter.
all the money you're throwing out, we're going to drain it all back in and we're going to look at it. And it may have only been, you signed it a week ago. It may go away, but we're going to look at it all.
Mhm.
And so those things are important, but bottlenecking is a serious thing. It's
Absolutely.
serious. It's a serious thing. And we're going to start delegating off of you. You've got way too much on your plate
That's
and you're
right.
going to become a true owner and a CEO, and you're going to
Right.
work on revenue producing activity. And we're
Right.
going to
Because
scale
people
this business.
think of being an owner, oh, I can go on vacation. Not if you're doing it all
Um,
yourself. You won't even get to sleep. You're
This
working
guy cannot go on
100 hours.
vacation. I
Right.
don't see a vacation in his future until we get things under control.
Absolutely. Great advice. Very
Yeah.
good.
So
Especially if you
we're going to
start
get
off
him
that
to,
way. It's
yeah, we're going
harder
to
the
get,
longer you go.
yeah, yeah. You've provided so much value
Yeah. All
already.
the things not to do.
All the things not to
Yeah.
do,
The
all the things
lessons
to
learned
do.
the hard way. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. That
Yes.
is definitely,
If I could go back, the one thing I would do differently is start with a mentor. Start not trying to figure it all out myself because that takes up time and that's money. Listen to someone, even when I didn't want to hire someone. It was time they saw it. I needed to listen. There were so many opportunities I missed because I was too stubborn to accept them from being a control freak.
yeah.
And it completely paralyzed me from growing.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable the opportunities missed because I was in my own way once again. I
Yeah.
see a
Having some
theme.
control. Having some control is good, but we got to let some control go.
Absolutely.
And one of the things I've said is let's find somebody on your team that can do it at least 50%
That's the
as well
best
as
advice.
you. And
That's the
then
best advice.
let's get them to
And
60%. Then let's get them to 70%. Let's get them to 80 and then you get out of their way.
that
Then
is
let's start with the
incredible
next person.
advice. I wish I had listened to that sooner. Incredible
Yeah.
advice.
Yeah. All right, Sheila. So in closing,
Mhm.
share where people can find you,
Oh,
whether it's a website, social media, whatever, if somebody wants to connect with you.
okay. Yes, I would love that. My Instagram handle is peptides with the pages, and that's where you can find me for the peptide business. And my personal is Sheila Page 1. And yeah, I would love to connect with other CEOs and learn from other people. And if there's anything I can do to help or offer, please reach out. I'm an open book of mistakes learned the hard way, how
And
to do
fear
it
forward
better.
and through it.
Yes, and pushing through the fear because one step in front of the other is the only way to get through it.
Mhm. I love that. This has been fantastic and
Yeah.
absolutely exactly what I had hoped for
Oh,
and
good.
what I thought it would be. So it's definitely
Well, I
real.
appreciate that.
It's been real. It's practical, very honest feedback, and definitely appreciate that. So I want to thank you for being here, giving to the community and giving feedback that can definitely be used for
Yeah.
everyone listening
I
today.
appreciate that. And I really want to give you kudos to the people that listen to you. You truly know what you're doing. You are an expert in this industry. I've listened to a lot of people. Most people talk about themselves. You are truly trying to see the individual and help them. And it's very powerful. You're doing a great thing.
Thank you. I appreciate
You have a
that.
gift. You have a
Oh,
gift.
thank you. Thank you. So, for all of you listening, I hope that you heard yourself somewhere in this podcast today. Sheila is Like I said earlier in the introduction, she's a powerful woman, a powerful leader. She has a lot to offer as well. So I do hope that you connect with her. I hope that you heard something about you in part of this conversation, the fear, the pivot, the decision to keep on going, just like she said, putting one foot in front of the other. That's what Fear Forward looks like in real life for sure. And again, this was episode 5. Episode 6 will drop in the week upcoming. And we're going to be talking about, I'm not sure what next week is going to lead to. It may be another interview for all I know. I've been trying to get another very powerful leader on the podcast. It's been tough nailing her down, but I'm hopeful to get her on real soon. But we're going to be walking through fear again in someone else's life, hopefully. But I want you to continue to grow and scale. And I don't want you to miss these episodes. But until then, continue to build trust, make your connections count, and always fear forward. Thank you for being here for sure.
Thank you.
Yes.